Ew, Hifumi! Continue. Yes. Okay. What am I doing? Agreed, let's head to the secret room. Okay. So that's... Okay.
Hey.
Hey Makoto, are you sure all the documents are gone? I refuse to believe you. Go and check again.
Listen to me.
What? Just hurry up and go and make sure you don't run off. I'm gonna wait right here. Oh, I get it. She's acting. She was so forceful. I thought I made her mad again somehow. Why are you just standing there? Hurry up and go. Okay, I'm going.
So then.
And be thorough. I'm counting on you. Okay, first we have to find a network cable. According to Kyoka, there should be a bunch of cables in this drawer. Found it! This is the network cable, right? Now we just gotta connect to Alter Ego. Immediately I got to work. I pulled out the laptop, connected it to the Ethernet port with the cable. And that should do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it worked.
Leave it to me.
Just leave the rest to me. I'll swear I'll find something. I might even be able to connect to the outside world. If I can, I'll see if I can call for help. So please, just wait a little longer. And just hold tight and put your faith in me. As I was about to leave, I decided to leave him with one last thing. No matter what, we're going to get out of here. You and all the rest of us as friends. Friends? Even me?
Thank you.
Thank you, Makoto.
Makoto.
How'd it go? Well, it went okay, but all the documents were gone, just like I told you. My apply was unintentional mix of acting and real feelings. I see. There's been nothing left for us here.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Before I knew it, Kyoko was walking away. She wasn't acting anymore, that much was for sure. Kyoko! Yes? So, we're just gonna split up? Of course, I have no reason to stay with you at this point. Well, maybe if... Isn't that a bit too direct? Should I hesitate and fumble for something to say? You're so high maintenance. That's not what I meant. I just had more I wanted to talk to you about, like... What are you going to do about Sakura?
It's true.
Well, something has to be done, it's true.
However...
But the way things are right now, there's no way to persuade anyone. They don't have the mind to listen. Then what should we do?
So...
If we can find some new clue that would likely change the situation. That's all we can hope for right now. Which is why Alter Ego, all we can do is wait and believe in our friends. Right. That's our only option. We parted ways and headed back to my room. I'm kinda tired, so I laid down in bed. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving Alter Ego, but I was way more tired than I realized. So before long at all, I had completely dozed off. Ding dong. Huh? A sharp sound of a doorbell pierced my sleepy haze and pulled me back to the real world.
Makoto.
Makoto, get out here. Kyoko, what's
Indeed.
going on? Hina just came to see me and she was white as a ghost. It sounded like something's happened. What? As soon as I heard those words, my heart started to beat a little faster. Suddenly, I found myself wide awake. She said for us to come to the rec room. The rec room? Okay, let's hurry. What's going on in the rec room? I can't get the door open. Is it locked? You know what's going on? Makoto and Kyoko! You know what's wrong. Something's not right in the rec room. What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door and I hurried to look inside, and when I did... Is Sakura dead?! Who the hell?! Which one of you bastards? It was probably Baka Baka. It was Baka Baka. Baka Baka killed Sakura. Is she unconscious? She's sitting in the chair like she's bowing her head.
Hey.
What's going on? Did something happen to her? I was just walking past and I happened to notice her through the window, but I couldn't get the door open. I tried knocking, I tried calling her name, but she wouldn't respond. So what should we do? What are we gonna do?
Anyway.
First of all, we need to get into that room. But the door's locked, right? If we break in, we'll be violating school regulations. We're going to force our way in. I just said the door isn't locked. It's not locked because the rec room door doesn't have a lock. Well, then why? It feels like the door is pressing up against something inside the room. Is it that chair?
In other words,
Either way, the door isn't locked, which means, as far as I can tell, the rule doesn't apply. Then there's no problem if we break in.
indeed.
Let's smash the window. That should be the fastest way. Okay, I'll go get something to break it with. Just wait here. Inside the rec room, Sakura still hadn't moved an inch. She's just unconscious, right? She okay? I mean, Sakura, I'm sure. Kyoko didn't reply. There was only silence. But then that silence didn't last long. Here! I found a broom in the classroom. Use it.
Makoto.
You can handle this, right, Makoto?
Please.
Come on, please, hurry! Okay, you two, stand back. I took hold of the broom and swung it as hard as I could. Aiming directly at the window, all it took was one solid hit. The window shattered into 100 pieces, scattering across the rec room floor. I stuck my head through the now open window and started jostling the chair leaning against the door. The chair's pretty heavy, but if I can just... I pushed on it with all my strength and finally the knob turned. Sakura. I ran up to her as fast as I could, but the moment I laid my hand on her... all I felt was cold death. I could only feel the last lingering warmth of a living body. Life had abandoned Sakura's body and then... Monokuma, you whore. What, Myra? Okay. Monokuma's a bitch.
A body has been discovered.
No, do not say that when Zarya died. Zarya does not deserve that. Yeah, Zarya ulted and she got cancelled. But yeah, like her ult got cancelled.
After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
All-Star Apologies, Chapter 4.
Huh?
Huh? Sakura's...
Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to quietly inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead, checking for a pulse or reaction? Aoi is traumatized. Like that's the thing, Aoi found her body. Aoi was the first one to find the body. That's so sad. I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room, and I... Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her while she was checking Sakura's corpse. Among us, time passed. While I stood there unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone.
What?
Really? Really, Dan? You're gonna call her an ogre? You're gonna call her an ogre as she's lying in front of you, dead?
Yes, yes.
Still. Says she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? Excuse me, so you know what this means. Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Is that what you're going to say?
Huh?
No. Whoever killed her, it's not just someone in this room. It's one of you, Hiro, Baka Baka, Toko. My bets are on Baka Baka. One of you killed Sakura.
What?
You're accusing us before we've even begun the investigation. I don't need to investigate anything. Because you hated her. You hated the sight of her. One of you did it. I know it. You know it? Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What the heck?
What the hell are you doing here?
Come on.
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer. That's right, it's the Monokuma file. Don't get so mad, Miss Ashihina. You're gonna ruin that little lewd face of yours. Now then, with that hold on. There's something I want to ask you. Huh? It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura. Huh? Huh? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and then I killed her. Sorry, not quite, not even close. That whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that, it saved me a lot of trouble of having to go through with our little fight. 'Cause even for someone like me, that would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that. Gotta tell you, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her. So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe you one.
What is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie, before you get all pissy body at me, you better figure out who did it first. 'Cause I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell? He owes them one? I hate him, I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway.
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. We can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay then, Hina's the guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on, before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Baka Baka, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot inside the crime scene.
Huh?
What?
It's your fault.
One of you killed Sakura. It won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise? What, Alexa? Okay. I won't ask you to let all of us in, just me. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway. It was Alexia. Why would you think I left my room? What's wrong with you, Myra? You weirdo. Well, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hiro, do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear now.
Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hina, but we should agree to his request. But we have to find out who killed Sakura. We're those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Baka Baka, you are absolutely not allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen.
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer, all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to. It's kind of a hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. Investasus. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at one point the victim suffered from a violent vomiting of blood. You wouldn't get that from a head blow. You would be dead instantly if it were a head blow. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that?
So
The only way into the rec room door we just came through, and the door had been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right? In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder. I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery novels or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life and right before our own eyes like this? Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
that's fine.
Then you break down this kind of murder mystery. There are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. Simply means the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This may only involve some sort of trick involving locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right? The second type was when the locked room already existed before the crime was committed.
In other words,
Basically, the killer uses a special type of contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
however,
But in this case, it doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in this school, and that door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I guess we can probably cross that one off the
it's
list.
true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
They stay hidden, and when the door is open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else. That's that. It sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
And then the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not
In
a
other
locked
words.
room. By that means there's actually an alternative escape route somewhere within the room. You see this in a lot of novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to a locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities in Kyoko. Which of our 4 choices seems most likely in this
It's true.
case? That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Baka Baka, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? And eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon. The Monokuma file, she said she'd been dead right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. And then I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by force even, this never would have happened. You know, it's possible not to have regrets, I know. Aoi's account has been added to the truth bullets. But the fact that she had asked those 3 to meet up with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the 3 of them directly.
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type that would go down without
It's
a
true.
fight. And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise,
Certainly.
right? Certainly they would have needed to do so if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. Well, there's something I'd like to ask you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. So that it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Baka Baka said he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. I'm going to. Are you watching the sus? Sus. Oh, there's bloodstain in the corner. Bloodstain in front of the magazine. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why was it so far from where she died? Cause like, yeah. Okay, so like where she's positioned in, like, you know how the rec room is, right? Like pool table in the back, little table with like a checkers game. Yeah. So like she's sitting on the chair to the right, and it's like pushed back slightly. Like the blood stain is like behind her to like the left corner, and she looks like what has glass behind her. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and there's a top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? It must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor. Oh, there's something else in the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure? Figure on the floor. It looks like some kind of wrapper. Do you recognize it, Hina? Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a bit. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took an entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. So you really like them that much.
I mean,
But I wanted Sakura to get the chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've all lost their flavor. Polka dot candy wrapper. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said that she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Sakura's body. Maybe after getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Baka baka.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on the most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I would call it interesting. But it does make me wonder, the reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to connect to why she died. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon. So roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego? There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. And I'm wondering how did those figures get inside the bottle?
So,
There's no difference from your standard chip in a bottle. Huh? You know, where bottles opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh, yeah, maybe I
in
have.
other words,
So this is a Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle. Feels like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass. That would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head from a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass in a Monokuma figure are evidence of that. I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Huh? The locker's open there on the inside. A handprint.
why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint all in
It's true.
dust. And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding in here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe our killer hidden there until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion they popped out and joined the rest of the group? Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Why not? Think back before when we opened the door we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, the locker was already open at that.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there after we opened the locker. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? Locker room handprint. A chair was shoved against the door so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence of any kind of string or mechanism that was used to the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think that the chair had anything special done to it. And some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room.
So,
It looks like a protein drink and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of
wrong.
ailments. I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I'd know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange, huh?
Hey.
What is? Can you see what's scattered around the can? Shards of white blue glass, they must be parts of the window I
Correct.
broke to get in. But they weren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it.
So...
What does that matter? I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of that. The bottle was dropped after. That bottle must have just been dropped. Because glass can't get underneath something. It would be around it. I feel like it'll be an important clue later on. An important clue I'm not seeing how. Empty energy drink. The same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. What am I missing? I checked all of those. I talked to everyone. Oh, the door. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened of course when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. And having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved in the way of it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created a locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Backroom door.
Listen.
Maybe Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part. So then you'll probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. Was it because I gave her the thong? It was because I gave her the thong. But she's right. I have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Time to track down Hiro and Toko. I pressed the doorbell. After a few seconds... Huh? Who's there? The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She doesn't look like she was in a good mood.
I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toku slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Baka Baka already told me she was asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said two, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? I mean, pretty much, so, can you just tell me about it? I admit it, I did get a note, but I didn't go see her, I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. And with that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Right. Dan, please say you didn't go in there. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I wanted to check, something. It was about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How did you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? Can I finally treat you to one of my seminars? But, I'm actually not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Baka Baka and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura? No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt, and I took her to the nurse's office.
don't look at me.
I haven't seen her since then. Well, I'm here. Could you show me the note that she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pockets. It's the candy wrapper that Hina said that she was the only one that got.
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up and shoved it back into his pockets.
Come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash. I forgot to throw it out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that it was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro, but what next? I'll have to definitely look into the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find more about the protein can we found in the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it came from the chem lab, so where should I start? We're going to the chem lab! Yeah, okay, so it's saying Baka Baka's in the chem lab right now. But, Baka Baka is, like, admitting to the fact that he got a note. He's just saying that he didn't go meet her. The one who's denying that they got a note, or at least that they're saying that, like, they don't have it anymore, is Dan, and that's kind of worrying me. And, like, I really don't want it to be Dan, because that would be sus. Like, my bets are on Baka Baka. This is Baka's Baka room. It has nothing to do with the case. Okay, so I can't go into Baka's room. No, it's not. And even, like, I think they would probably throw it away in their personal rooms, too. Alright. Here. Before I go into the chem lab, I'm going to pause and go do something real quick.